All right, all right. I'm trying to get this color. That's what I'm having a problem with. I guess if I paid that for it, that's probably why. I'll be right with you. Be right with you. I'm thinking I'm going to. It's got to be my light. That's a little bit better, but not too much. Let me just sit down. Oh no, I don't like that. Oh no. So I just have a. That's just one thing I could say about this. The camera is not too. Okay, I hope you can see me. I'm gonna press on, and hopefully this week I get a better uh, laptop. I think that's what I'm going to end up having to do. But this one here have done me well. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah, prophetess in the wilderness. And you know what? That's all right with me. Coming again on this Deborah platform with another message. And I will say this is a lovely evening in which the Most High Yah has made. And I, Sister Deborah, shall and I will rest therein. Just coming with a little something, something. It's time to talk. And this is a time if you have happened to have any questions or want to discuss some things that's actually taking place in the world, around the world, or within you with you, and you want, or maybe you even have answers to questions, and maybe you have a question. The live chat is open for any and every one. Okay. Um, I have been on a roller coaster, and I don't like roller coasters, but I've been on a roller coaster ride today, and that's all right. I got off safe. That's what's important. And uh, somewhere along the line, I everything is like a puzzle that's completed. And you know how many times I've said to you all that the Father say that it's finished, it's over. When today has been, like I say, a roller coaster ride. Hello in the live chat. It's good to see you all. And that roller coaster ride was pretty much telling me the start of the ride and the finished, the finish, the completion of the roller coaster ride. And what he's saying is what he said in time past. It is finished. It's over. Uh, it's no need in me really looking for puzzle pieces because there's no pieces uh, left to put together. It's finished. It is completed. And I, Sister Deborah, a prophetess in the wilderness, will say, yes, I can see that it is completed. What we're doing is just walking this thing out. Hmm. But honestly, it is. And more, he putting it on me, y'all. He really is because I'm like, sometimes I wonder what role do I play in this? What role was I called into this thing? And the reason why I say that is because, like I say, I'm not a dead prophet. I'm a living one. So those prophets of yesterday would have desire to be able to see what Sister Deborah is saying today. Oh, yes, they would. You see? So I know that this is a time, not like in your time, clockwise, phone wise, watch wise time, but it's a part of the Father's will that has come to pass, and by many living a life of a one say let me see a life to where they think it's about their life. Let me say that this whole life is about their life, and they don't even understand when how did you get the breath of life if it's your life? Who breath that has who have given you the breath to breathe? I mean, really, the Most High Yah. So how is it your life? That's just something I'm just throwing in because a lot of us get caught up in. He gives you a free will. This is your life. Live it to the utmost. Oh, you got one life to live. Live it. Don't let nobody tell you this and don't tell. And you know what? No one ever thought, wait a minute. If he took this life, his breath back, what life really will I have? You have a life on the ground. That's where you have a life deteriorating on the ground. That's your life right there. Do y'all get that? I know you don't. Probably went over your head. So many of us, even our children, and we didn't say it to our parents. I never said that to my parents, but I've heard parents saying their children say, "This is my life. I got one life to live. You trying to live my life. You trying to control my life." People be talking this as if they haven't realized that, baby, you ain't got no life. Ain't no life on this earth been given to anyone. That is the breath of the Most High's life. That's why when he sends the charge by death. Death come, death don't go talking about, wait a minute, Father Yah. You want me to snatch that breath? They on the plane. Oh no, they drive the car. Oh, she's pregnant. Wait a minute. Death ain't gonna ask the Most High all these questions. He's gonna go snatch what belongs to my Father and bring it back to his bosom. Now, how you like him now? Now, what breath of life do you have? Or what life do you have outside of one? You're gonna drop to that ground. That's your life right there. In that dirt. That's your life. So this here also give you an idea of knowing. Stop thinking that you got that much power, and you control your A to Z. Don't even know you ain't got nothing but A to B. I don't know where you're going all the way down to Z for, but that's the mindset of people. Today I did a couple of videos and I held back because I said I'm going to go live, and I got stuck on something that I really wasn't planning on talking about, but early this morning, but it was sounding so good to me. And if it sounds good to me, you know what I said? I said, you know what? I'm gonna go live this evening, and I'm gonna mention this, in which I was given early this morning, and I was like, where did that come from? Because I couldn't get off of it, and it was about the 10 virgins. We're gonna cover that, and it's in Matthew 25, and I think it's verse 1 through 4 or 1 through 5. We're gonna cover Matthew's. Hello, everyone in the live chat. It's good to see you. And if you have any questions or any answers to questions, or if you want to talk about or discuss anything that's going on in the world that look like we are all missing or something, it's okay. Bring it up in the chat, the live chat. Okay, chat. Okay, chat. Okay. Let me get to my Matthews, and I'm gonna start on there now because wow. Oh no. Let me start. I started. What I was doing, I was in the store today, and a customer came up and he said, he wasn't a customer. What am I talking about? A vendor that owns another store came up and he said, I'm out, Miss Deborah. I'm saying, you out? What you mean? He said, I'm out of here. I said, you the smart one then. He say, yeah, I'm being smart by leaving. He only been there a couple of months. And the reason why I'm telling him he's the smart one, because when you see something that's not doing anything but taking from you, give it up. Don't keep investing in something that's not doing you any good. He got in there and he realized that, wait a minute, my rent going up, all my utilities going up at home. I got to change this here because I'm not making zero here in this store. I'm making nothing. I'm just paying out. I'm not bringing any in. I said, did not I tell you at the beginning? I told you all that good stuff you had, you should not have been out here. These people don't want nothing. They ain't gonna want to pay you for what you have, and you got some. I mean, this man did some. Ooh, if y'all could see the stuff he invented. I mean, and the way he put things together, and the things that he sell are really, really, really good items. I told him that, but a lot of people, you just can't tell them nothing. Sometimes in life, that'll be okay too. That's okay. Sometimes you have to learn based on your own experience. But I think it's always good to have that in the back of your head when someone is telling you something. Just have it right back there in the back and saying, you know what? If it's not going, this is probably why she was saying that it wasn't. And here it is. You know what I'm saying? But it always keep it, in mind. But a lot of people thinking you're trying to get them out for your reason, especially Europeans, Gentiles. They really think you don't know what you're talking about. And so when he went on, and this is what's powerful about this guy. He's a pretty, what you call, he about 6'5", every bit of probably about 375. Not heavy. I'm just showing you this is a big guy. And he always come in the store and be talking. He got his dog is a female. He got a pit bull, and I got a pit bull. Mine's the male, and he got the female, and they look just alike. And we always talk, and he was talking about, I'm getting my things out, and I'm out of here. And I said, what's wrong? What's wrong? He said, this place is not it, Deborah. I knew that, and I know it now. It's just that I went so deep, I don't know how to pull out. You know what I feel sad about is, and I do really feel sad. I feel sad that I'm going to have to give all that stuff to those Gentiles and leave. That's going to be my only solution, is to just open up the store and tell them everything in is free. That's going to be my own. And that's what I'm battling. Should I? And you all tell me in the live chat, do you think that to just give this thing up, it's not making anything? I mean, like nothing. Okay. Should I just open the doors now if it was in the area where my people were at, then I would do it. I wouldn't think second. But these are over here. This place is over here where um, the Gentiles are at, and half of them are poor. I put it like that. But the only problem I have is I think about is stuff that I invested, and just because they don't see fit to come in and purchase, because a lot of it do have to do with your race. Then a lot of it don't. It's just that I know that the place had a heavy curse on it, you know. And I knew that in the back of my head, but I just figured if I'm here, truly it's gonna work. It's gonna work, and it's gonna work. And I went too deep, invested in too much, lost so much. So I'm just thinking, should I open the door and just give it to what? The heathens. Just like the biblical said, they're going to end up with everything you have anyway. And I kind of feel bad about that. But I don't know. That's what I'm thinking about doing. Now, this European came in, and he has a store also, and he was telling me he out. I said, he was telling me he getting ready to close his store. He's not going to open up again, and so on and so on. But you know what he said? And this is why I know that Sister Deborah made a video and told you that uh, the house of Israel and the tribe of Judah is totally gone. Totally. Not 99, but 100% gone. In the way we function, in our thought pattern, and how we think and how we feel, how we conduct ourselves. And you would say, well, how would you know? You don't know everybody. You know yourself. No, baby. It is what the Father prophesied that it will be. That's what I'm going on. See, a lot of people keep looking at you thinking you just saying, no, I'm telling you what I know. And I believe in what my Father shares with me before I believe anything anybody share or tell me. So I trust in what he's saying to me. And this European, he was talking, and this is why I know that there's something wrong with the house of Israel and the tribe of Judah. Now, listen to this, y'all. When this man came in here, he broke that thing so far down. I was like this here, looking at him like, because Sister Deborah is a prophetess in the wilderness, okay? The wilderness represent a place where the Most High meet me, teach me, reveal things to me, and tell me things. He's in me. But the place in where I go to hear him is in the wilderness, okay? Now, let me tell y'all, the wilderness to me is not the wilderness to you. Mine's it's like unto, I'm going to throw out a parable. It's like unto you going to college, okay? And you going to the 3 classes that you're taking up, and you got the same professor that's teaching the 3 classes. With me, I know that's where I can go. I can go into and it's called the wilderness. And your call, your uh, 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 college might be called something else. Your college can be called Georgia Southern University. My college is called the Wilderness, and my teacher is the Ruach HaKodesh, who teaches me at that level and in that location. Now, I don't see it like you all might see it, the wilderness being a place like they have lied to you all that it is. Because you got to think, if he took them from out of the bondage of Pharaoh, he had already prepared the wilderness for them to bring them there. So the place that he brought them to couldn't have been worse than where they were at, because it was a place that Yah himself with his mighty right hand prepared for them. It's just that they didn't have any faith, no trust, no real belief in the God that had delivered them. Instead, they said, oh, he's taking us out here to cause us to starve. We don't have food. We don't have water. We don't have this. We don't have that. All the way through. I'm sure after the 40 years where they all died out, they were still complaining. They were brought out of Pharaoh's captive under Pharaoh. They all the way up until the 40 years. I'm sure they still complained all the way up until the last day. They always in the wilderness, but the wilderness could be the place that Yah has for you, because Yah was in the wilderness, y'all. He the one prepared it for them, and he was there 24/24. He directed them there. So it can't be the bad place or horrible place. But see, that's the way they teach it. See, I can't teach or speak that way about my Most High Yah when common sense, not no, and I ain't gonna say common, spiritual sense lets you know if he was bringing them out of bondage from Pharaoh, why would he take them to a worse place? It don't make sense. Matter of fact, he had prepared that place just for them, where he wanted to have them until he get them to their final destination. They couldn't wait for that. They didn't want it like that. They wanted him to take them right here and now, give us the world. You see, but he had a plan. I'm going to give you the wilderness because what? Many of you going to die off with this, not die off, but going to be so evil and wicked. This is where you're going to rest. You're going to die here. You see, you ain't going to go to the promised land. I already know that. So I'm not going to take you from Pharaoh to the promised land when I already know your rotten heart. So I'm going to let you lay over here and let you conduct your regular mouth and your heart here. And this is where you're going to die. Why would I give you the promised land knowing already? But what did he do? He gave it to the children that was no different. That's what y'all got to understand, how the Father orchestrated everything from the heavens in showing us that it always comes, the children are likened to the fathers. Okay? He said that over and over. But see, nobody really believed that. Nobody. It can't be likened to the mother. It has to be likened to the father. And I'm talking about their ways, who they are, how they really conduct themselves. And a lot of times you all won't see it. You might see it like a woman might see her daddy ways or her brother ways in her daughter and her son. But it got to come down the male ways. That's why he said he will visit the iniquity 3 to 4 generations of the father. He meant that, y'all, even to today. Even to today. Because we don't want to look at it that way. We got our minds made up to just see it the way we want to see it and believe it the way we want to see it and walk this thing and talk this thing the way we want to walk it and how we want to talk it. But this man that was in the store, I know I'm going back and forth. I'm trying to get to something that's very important. This man came in the store and he began to say some things, and it made me really realize something, you guys. I said, so really, it's really, this man saying it, you done already told me, what's wrong with the people? Nobody don't seem to know it. So why is it these Gentiles know this? To me, it's the Father has not revealed it to me, and I don't think he's going to. But Sister Deborah is learning that these Gentiles know it, y'all. They know what is before us. And we running around here chasing what we are being taught by these men and women. And we really believe and they know what they saying because they just picking up this book and reading it. I just thank the Most High for allowing me to understand this thing didn't come by you reading, Deborah. I said study to show yourself. I didn't say I was coming by you reading. I'm coming in the Ruach to teach you all things. He never said it comes by you reading. Because when you read, you get in your flesh. But the Ruach, when he comes, he knows all things. What is being smeared, what's crooked, or whatsoever. So listening to this man talk, he sounded like he was so mad. And he was just talking so fast, but I can understand everything he was saying because guess what? I sit back and I was listening to him. I said, wow. And 3 times I said to him, so you know. He said, yes, Miss Deborah, I know. I let him continue to talk. And I said, so you really know? Mm-hmm. I know. Mm-hmm. I know. The 3rd time, he said, I've been knowing. And I'm like, we as a people are really gone. For them to get it and we not, we would have to be gone, just like he said. And that's what he's been dealing with me today on a roller coaster. It's going to be like when you get on it, Deborah, it's going to go around, everything's going to spin, but you're going to come right back at the end. You're going to be like it was when you started. You ain't going to be on the roller coaster. It ain't going to be a ride. So he was just telling me that everything he's been showing me and telling me and been speaking to me, he told me, he said, you have truly embraced what I have said to you. But guess what he told me? He said, but it's something in you that just can't believe that it is actually happening. I'm serious. So that looks like what's something wrong with Sister Deborah then. How is it? No, it ain't nothing wrong with Sister Deborah, but I'm just showing you. But it looks like, it sounds like, because he was saying that all that I have shown you, revealed to you, taught you, let you see, showed you things to come. showed me things that was, is, and shall be. I embrace it. I tell y'all, I salute it, everything, because I know it's spirit and truth. But when this European came in there and he's talking, I'm trying to piece this part together. How do he know, Father? How do he know? This man knew many things that I knew. And I was like, how did he know? Because I, without a doubt, know that people would say they agree, they understand, and so on. But the Spirit of the Most High, He lets me know. Just like I told you, Deborah, they mouth and they say, but their hearts are so far from me. Let me finish talking with this man so I can get off of him. And he went on. The last thing he said, he talked about all of these Cash App, these GoFundMes, everything you do to where, he was talking about Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, all of these places. This was his last thing he said. All of these places, the government are, I wish I could see it like he said it. The government is setting it so that they can control it and come after you. It's the way he broke it down that made me just say, wow, how did he know it? Because it's got a lot to do. A lot of things we're doing today, you guys. Let me kind of break it down to what he's saying to me. What he's saying is they're going to have a reason to come and destroy you, a reason to take your home, to lock you up. These things, and I already know that. I was just hoping that I'll be gone before that happened. They got so many ways to show that you're breaking the law because their law, no other law, but just their law. And these are little things they're putting in because we as a people did not pay attention to what took place during this pandemic. They reset everything, y'all. Okay, they reset everything. They did defund the police. They did. They cut them out. Crossed the country. Okay, that's why you don't see police out doing their job like they once did, as far as even pulling over black people and shooting them and killing them. Not just, we ain't gonna just say them, but all of them. This man went on and talking about, do you know what Lee May Ferry? And I said, yeah, that's over there near me. He said, but Deborah, this ain't got nothing to do with black people. That's what he said. This ain't got nothing to do with no black people. Do you know there's zombies out there? That's what he said. This white guy. All over Lee May, Deborah, there's zombies over there. That's what he said. And these ain't got nothing to do with no black people. What he said don't have nothing to do with no black people. The substance, the drugs, the guns, the substance that they sell in this weed, all of this stuff is out there. You all, if you knew where Lee May Ferry is, then you'll know that those were all the white people at in the South County. That's where ain't that out there? No. And this is why he said not black people. These are white people, Deborah. And he's sitting here turning red, and he got even emotional. He said, look at my hands. Look at my hands. I said, how did you better go to the hospital? He said, no, I ain't worried about it. I ain't worried. What happened to your hand? They was really swollen. I said, well, what happened to your hand get swollen like that? What happened? And y'all, it was a sight to see. He said a man, one of the zombies, came over to his house, tried to break in the side of his window. He comes out broad daylight. He comes out and asks him, man, what are you doing? And the man told him, you just take your tail back in the house and leave me alone. Now he's trying to get in the man's house. The man told him he's going to shoot him. if he don't leave him alone. Now, you got to understand, this is this man's house that I'm talking to in the store. The zombie was on the outside daytime trying to get in his side window. And he told, when he went out, said, man, what do you mean, leave you alone? You trying to break in my house. This is my house. The man got to cursing him out, he said, and told him, leave him alone or else I'm going to shoot you. He said he flipped. The guy that was in the store, he said, I just flipped. I knew they said it was out there, but that just flipped, Deborah. He said, and I just beat that man to a pulp. This man didn't have, he said, this man didn't have a emotion, a feeling, or that's how his hands got so swollen. And I'm talking about a 6'5", every bit of 370 pounds, somewhere in there. And he said, and he didn't even stop. He's still trying to get in my window. And he said, after he said he gonna shoot, he said he lost it. And he said that he called the police and the police refused to come. And he said he heard everybody in his community, when you go to the stores and everything around, they saying that the police is not responding to anything no more. You see? He say that it's too much going on. You should have, Deborah, no, they breaking in your car and looking at you, telling you, you better not say nothing to them. I said, that's in your community too? He said, yeah. And don't tell me that it's black people. This is not black people. I'm looking at these people. Deborah, we got zombies. And this man is just turning red. He calls them zombies because he said they almost look like they just drugged out or they don't have a mind. You wouldn't if you're breaking into his house and he telling you that's his house and you tell him he better get somewhere and sit down and leave you alone, or else you're going to shoot him and you ain't got no gun and you sitting here trying to break his window. He said it's going on so bad. His rent went sky high. What? He was just saying that everybody, because he rent this house, and he was just saying it's so bad. And when he said Lee May Ferry, I said, wait a minute, where is that? He said, nope. I'm talking about white people, my people out there. He said that they all over the place. You wake up in the morning, they walk. You wake up at nighttime, they walk. See, what I'm saying to you all is everything that they did, they knew what they did. We lost, I'm just going to throw out a number, every bit of probably 6 million people from that V that they put out. And probably another 3 or 4, maybe even more. Maybe I heard it's double from the juice that they, So I thought when I heard people talk about there's zombies out there, I know that it's going to end up like that. And I'm not talking about what this Gentile was saying in my store. I'm talking about, I have heard of that, even in our community. But I didn't pay any attention to it. But I have heard it. So what I'm saying to you all, just because you can't embrace it or you don't see that it could be or all this, it don't matter what you see. It don't matter if somebody tell you. These things, this is why I sit and I try to tell you, I would try to figure out, well, what are you here for, Deborah? He showed all this stuff to you, and here it is hitting you dead in your face. That's why I was on a roller coaster today. And this before I even went to my store, before I even met the man, because the father was telling me, Deborah, everything that I've told you, you seen it. Right, and it is right before your face. I ain't seen the zombies, but I've seen them on YouTube where people are just doing things and you wonder, and we're looking for them to actually look like zombies, but they got a mindset like a zombie. They have, when this man told me, when he sat there, he said, Miss Deborah, they had to have reset. They just fund the police all over in my neighborhood, in my community. They said the police won't even come anymore. I called the police, they never showed up. You see, they getting a taste of what it was we went through throughout our time and still going through. See, and this is a decent area in which he's saying he live in. And I'm like, not trying to tell him or communicate with him about what he was saying, because he was a man just wanted to just stop by to let me know that he's leaving, because he used to come in the store at least every time I'm open and talk to me. And he's saying he's out. And he wanted me to know that the world is crazy. Everything is going crazy. We don't have no backup. He said everybody got guns. Everybody's going crazy. So what? Now, what could I give him? I had a whole bunch of this here I could have given him. But what he was sharing with me with what the Father had already revealed to me. But I couldn't give him what I could have given him, because it wouldn't have meant anything. That's where the mindsets are at today. But the things that he was telling me, those were confirmation for me. The Father wanted me to hear it. You see, again, not just from him, it's finished with him, but to see the product or the outcome of what Yah say that is finished. What was that man talking about? That man was talking about Matthew's 24, and I think it was 7. Matthew's, let me see, 24. Let me see if that's it. I want to quote that right. Matthew's 24 and verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Let's take that man's house. You see what I'm saying, y'all? Let's take his house, for instance. Why are you trying to break in this man's house? Broad daylight, and he's standing right there telling you to get away from there. And you stand here telling him you're going to shoot him. And you still trying to break in his house. Who is that house? That's that man's kingdom. His house is his castle. That's his kingdom. And you standing out there finna break in it. And then go tell him he better get out of your face and leave you alone, or else you're going to shoot him. Because you want to be left alone so you can break into his kingdom. So look at Matthew's 24. In Matthew's 24 and verse 7. For the nation shall rise against nations and kingdom against kingdom. There it is. This is what I was saying to you all. That's already happening. People walking up, taking your stuff from you, and daring you to even look like you got something to say. You know how many people that have died from someone taking a purse and decide, I'm going to kill this little old lady? Let me tell you what he told me. He said, I'm going to tell you something. My brother friend is a police in the state of Missouri, not Missouri, Missouri County, where he's at. Not where he's in you know how you got the North County, the South County. In those two counties, it is listed that 267 murders. Not in the city, in the county. And guess what his friend told him? Not his friend, but his brothers have a police that's a friend. Told him they lied. There has been 6,000 and some odd murders in those two counties. Isn't that a big difference? A big difference. 200 and some odd murders versus 6,000. He's saying that the guy told them that they're telling them, don't put them in the book. Don't put it in the book. Don't keep count. Don't put it in the book. So this is what I was saying to y'all. We're in the level where people are deceiving you. Don't take this thing lightly, thinking that it's okay to just live like you got it going on. This thing is real. And when he told me that, I was shocked. I was just sitting here listening to him. Because there's a lot of things he was saying that I already knew. And I was trying to figure out, how did this Gentile know what I know? That's what I said. Because I look for my people to know, but they ain't going to know nothing. Father said they gone. But why is this Gentile knowing? Why is this Gentile knowing this? So when he's saying this man coming through his house, And if y'all, this is his hand. His hand was up to here, y'all, like this here. They didn't even look like real hands. They looked like balls. Because he beat the man to a pulp. And the police still didn't come. Ambulance didn't either. And he said the man, started running his mouth. This is why he's saying that he calling them zombies. Because he said all over in his community, meaning in the white people neighborhood, they're saying there's a lot of zombies out here. These people are doing things like like they don't even understand that it's wrong, that they doing it. They don't care about their lives. They don't care if somebody kill them or they get killed. They just doing a lot of things. You see? And he said they're not putting out here what is actually taking place. A lot of it's going on. And my thing about it, y'all, it's not just going on in that white neighborhood. It's going on all over the United States. They covered it all up. They reset, y'all. And it's so hard to stand on a mountain and tell the world, the United States, that y'all, they have reset. They did defund the police. I think I'm saying it right, defund, where they cut many, they try to make you think a lot of them was leaving and retiring. No, they offered them big packages, and that's what they were doing. They were taking them and leaving. But this was a plan, because what they're going to do is bring the martial law in. So they have to bring the police system down. They got to get the chaos going on in the country. That's why they letting you have guns. That's why they putting it all on everything that's happening with these guns, especially regarding us. They're showing it all nationwide. And when I say nationwide, you guys, you all don't understand the word is fulfilling. You're going to be hated, and you're already hated. But this type of hate, they're going to hate you because they're going to make sure the world sees you. So when you see your nation of men and women out there doing all kind of wicked and evil at its highest, and you run around here saying they putting us on there, but they ain't putting them. But you know what you're doing? You just fulfilling, helping them fulfill what the prophecy said. You're going to be hated. And you sitting here making it okay and you don't see it, you don't feel it, you don't pay any attention to it. It doesn't bother you because you don't believe it's real. You don't believe this is going on. But it's coming to your door. So you better make sure you out that door in time. And that means it ain't going to even be your choice. And we're going to go over that tonight. When the Most High is coming to get in, that's a blessing in a blessing, to get up out of here. And I don't care who I got to leave behind. I'm going to be real. You think I don't care for my babies? Yes, I do. But I'm gone. I'm gone. The things that I'm seeing, you think I want to wait and stay? Because I know that these children don't belong to me. They belong to the Most High Yah. These are his children. They don't belong to me. And when you really grip spirit and truth, you'll realize those kids are not going to even know who you are. Do you know you can right now, something can happen to you. They might cry a month or so on, and they going by their little lonesome, they little way. Why? Because you were the light. You would think that they would hurt more. I picture mine as doing, quiet storm being okay, but the baby boy taking it hard and the baby girl taking it hard. But how you gonna take something hard and you all are the ones that give me a hard time? But then when I'm gone, you gonna give you taking it hard. Do that make any sense? It don't make any sense. People are doing a lot of role playing, y'all. And I don't want to be in the midst of it. I want to be with my Father, the Most High Yah, in every way and where he goes. Now, this man is talking about, when you see Matthews 24 and verse 7, that's real, y'all. That's really then real. Nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. Nation against nation is talking about people against people. Now, when he's saying that, you first got to go up against your own people. And then it's going to be other people. But you're going to tear down your own, just like he said. Out there where he's at, we can't say it's blacks. Ain't no blacks out there, so it ain't blacks. It's our own kind. See? Nations against nations. This is the part of the setup from the floor, even though it's my father's will. This is how they're going to do away with the United Snakes. You know what else, y'all? And a lot of things been going on. This one person told me, Deborah, even though you think they're not listening, they're listening to you. They hear you. And I keep that always what that sister said, because you know what? Today, not just that man alone, but the things, the roller coaster that the father had me on, that was bringing a lot of things to me. You know what I'm saying? You know, GOCC. I sit there and I was, what was that? It was a couple of days ago, but I was in my bedroom. I was just sitting back, and I saw him and his the other guy that talks to him, and they was sitting right there, and they was talking, and he was saying, what was that he was saying? I was like, I'm going to bed. I cut the TV off. I went to bed because they were saying exactly the things that I had already said. Now, this is the thing. It's okay for them to say it, because if it's spirit and truth, it doesn't matter who it come out of or who mouth, long as it's spirit and truth. But this is what Sister Deborah been seeing that makes me think about that individual who told me that. I've been hearing them. Many are saying the same thing now. They're saying it now. And I'm like, you mean you didn't got all this wealth and all this money and all this, you put out all these lies for the flesh, for the food for their flesh, and here you now, you gonna step into this? And I've heard several in the last 2 days quoting the same thing. And I said, now, how is it they saying it now? It ain't like they trying to reveal things to you all or get in there and really uh teach you it. But I heard it come out of their mouths. I was like, bam, there it is. Click. I cut off that TV and went to bed. Because when I heard him say it, and you know, it just gave me a blank. I can't remember what it was. I could. That's why I was bringing it up. But it was, the father must have blanked it, said blank, and it was just gone. And I was getting ready. I wanted to tell you what he said, but maybe to come back to me. But it's you'll know it, because what I said, then you'll hear it. You'll say, oh yeah, you said that several times. But I was just shocked to hear him say it, you know. And all the things that I've been telling you on these devil platforms, Sister Deborah is hearing these things out of the mouth of men. And it's blowing my mind. Now, it's not coming to them, it ain't coming out of their mouth as food for the spirit. It's coming out as information that they come to understand. Bam, they go back to their norm. You see what I'm saying? It ain't like they really doing something with this. They just going right back to their norm. The whole idea for stand your own ground, gun law being passed, everybody, you can have guns, or you know what. The reason why they don't want your guns, baby, they don't want to stop you from giving your gun. They don't want you to give your guns up. You're doing too good with it. Your mind is so powerful. Your wicked mind is so powerful. You think you protected. They got you thinking you think you protected because you got guns. You don't need the Most High Yah, and you ain't gonna see him either. He gonna let you use what you got to protect yourself, since that's your God. And that's what they have done. They passed everything that was once unlawful. They made it law. They made it the law. You can, but it was unlawful. How did you lock up all these thousands and millions of people for weed, and then you turned around and you made it legal? And now you got it sold because you're adding chemicals to it. And that's what's bringing a lot of the zombie mindsets, y'all. In other states, the big states, I don't know if y'all know this, they are giving a lot of the Europeans that's on drugs, they're giving them more drugs. They're giving it to her. See, the plan is Matthew 24, verse 7, kingdom against kingdom, nation against nation. If you thought you saw Purge 1, 2, and 3, baby, you ain't seen nothing yet. These things gonna be live among you all. That's why I say you get up out of the rain, y'all. Come up out of that rain. Because it's gonna, and I'm not gonna say that it's going to get, it is already. This what this man is saying to me. The Father allowed him to come in my store and tell me all this stuff just to let me know what it did not tell you at all. You already believed me, but I'm just letting you know that's how close it really is. It's already present. And I'm like, how did this Gentile know these things? I mean, he was talking about everything. And I was like, so you do know that they did reset. I said, but I told him, do you know most people don't even know that? And people don't. Nobody knows that they already reset. That's why everything changed. And when they did that reset, that's why everything prices start going up. You see, everything has been reset. And I don't know if y'all know, last month they gave them the okay to almost reach half up on prices, almost half. So they can go up on prices, just that they fulfilling the reset. They doing it. It's already, now I knew they had reset everything, because that's why the whole purpose to reset, listen to this, y'all. To reset the country, you first have to close it down. You have to close this country down. Did not they do that? You have to get the people back in their houses. They have to close the door. And what else they have to do? They got to shut up their mouth. And that's what they did. And the mask, a lot of y'all thought the mask to keep you from, no, the mask for keeping you from running your mouth. The fear that you might catch something kept you from not being able to communicate, even when it came down to family members. That's why you should know that something had took place during that period. And it had nothing to do with just the biochemo and it was greater than that. They reset the whole country. They reset it. They even set everything to where if you were to go to court, it would be different. The way they got things and the way they doing things. Everything has changed. And no one's, and this is what made me know that something was wrong. Let me tell you what that. Before he walked out the door, he said about 4 or 5 times. Before he walked out the door, guess what he said the last time? And nobody ain't doing nothing about it. I don't understand. Nobody ain't saying nothing. Nobody ain't doing nothing about it. I said, boy, that sounds just like me. I was saying the same thing. And I felt sad for him. I did, because he was going on. He was just like, just like, I can't believe these things are going on and ain't nobody. Here go on right here. Said the same thing. You feel like you're in it alone, because you see these things going on. And with Sister Deborah, not only do she see them natural, I see them spiritual. But it ain't nothing I can say, do, or anything to get people to hear or take heed. One thing I want you all to do is the house of Israel and the tribe of Judah in the United States must boycott voting. So y'all make sure y'all spread that. We're going to boycott voting 2024. Boycott. All it's going to do is show strength. That's it. In numbers. But you got those and what happened is it'll show you how many of your nation is for what is wicked and evil than what is right. Because it's like they can't wait to vote. Because they think, and it's a form of idol. And Trump and Biden. They can't wait. And then I hear these other people talking about Obama. Obama is an Arab. He's an Arab and he's an African. He's Arab and African. He is not Israel nor Judah. He is an Arab and African. He is not, no, Israel nor Judah. No, he is not. He's Arab and African. That's his nationality. And I believe, and I've said it, and then I start hearing people saying it, and I said, well, okay, I'm gonna back off because I know what he is, and I know, who he is. But the thing about it is, there's more people concerned about the one world government and the beast, uh, the things that they have no power over, versus having the heart to seek the Father right now, not tomorrow, but right now, and serve Him with all your heart, your mind, and strength. That's what we need to be doing, putting Him first on everything. Ask Him, what could you do? What should you do? In every situation of your life, ask Him, oh, Father, I did this, but should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this? When it come down with what funds you have, when it come down to where you're living, which school you're going to go to, where you're going to move to, always go before the throne of the Most High God and ask Him to tell you, to show you, to guide you and lead you. Many people are going on their own way because they think they know Him like that. But they really don't know Him like that, y'all. They really don't. Matter of fact, they don't know Him. But when they have a little something, they think that that's enough to know Him. Isn't that sad? People connect money in their hand, in their pocket, in their banks with, hey, I'm in there with the Most High God. Baby, you so far from Him, you just don't know it. And He would allow you to think that, because that's what's keeping you from the kingdom in the long run. Because He said, where your heart is, where your, what do you say, wealth is, that's where your heart is. And a lot of people, they don't think that. And that's what's going to leave them in a lot of chaos. Because once He take His, then you're going to see if your money, your land, your guns, your job, your wealth, your field of cabbage and greens and vegetables and cows and chicken, see what it's going to be, how good it's going to be for you. Because it's going to come, those are coming to kill and steal. Those who are building up their treasures on the earth, they coming for you, baby. They already looking at you, knowing their direction they're going to go in. Because your heart is not in the right place. And in you think, hey, because you got what you got, that's what make you have a heart with God. Because He allowed you to get this. No. He gave you what pleases your heart. And that's where you rest therein. That's where you serve Him. Is when He give you, when He allow your heart to get its pleasures. It wants its desires. So let's go to Matthew's, and we're going to go to Matthew's chapter 25. And let's start with verse 1. This is something He gave me today. And when He gave it to, He's not, what the Father is doing something very different. Now He's giving me things way, how would I say, on top of things. It's like He keep climbing on top of things. And I'm like, what am I going to do with all of this? What? So I do know that, you guys, from Him, when He does that, somewhere along the line, y'all, let me tell you, He must be coming for His remnant. He must be. It got to be something that he's doing. But let's go here. Matthew chapter 25. But yeah, the guy in the store, the thing he was saying was when he was going out, I can't believe nobody said that, nobody doing nothing. That's that kingdom against kingdom, nation against nation, because they reset everything to bring all this chaos. And guess what? We sitting back like it's all, as long as it's not at our door, baby, it's just the time, y'all's time when they'll be there. Just hold up a little minute. Just hold up a little minute. Okay. Matthew chapter 25 and verse 1. And it reads, and we're talking about the 10 virgins. Okay. The 10 virgins. And verse 1, Matthew 25 and verse 1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be like unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. Now, notice what it says up at the top. Then shall the kingdom of heavens be like unto 10 virgins. Then shall, you see what it's saying? Then shall, he said, this shall be the kingdom of heaven be like unto. He's giving you an example from the heaven, why it is written. Okay. Heaven be like unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. To meet the bridegroom. Now, what is it saying is these were 10 virgins. Okay. And they all had lamps. Okay. And they went forth to meet the bridegroom. Verse 2. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish. I want you all to understand, right there is showing you heavens had already orchestrated this parable of trying to get us to understand. Heavens orchestrated all things. All things, it is written. This is examples trying to get us to understand the power of Yah and how he has done things. You see, from what level? The heavens, for it is written. I know we thinking we writing this stuff up because we running our mouths and the multitude following us by great numbers. We really think we doing this here. We really think we got the answer to what is righteous, faith, and belief, fear. We think we think that's what we speaking. No, baby, it's not in your speech. It's in a brand that heavens has, that he brand his before they get here. So when you thinking that you can come down here and you can and you can control Yah's brand that's down here, you can't. You can cause them to do things that they shouldn't do, but you ain't gonna be able to touch that brand that Yah has branded them with. That's in their spirit. So here in verse 2 it says, and 5 of them were wise and 5 were foolish. Verse 3, they that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. They didn't have no oil when they got down here. Where is mine? They didn't have this, y'all. See, we want to make it look like it's in our power because we want to say we righteous. We want to say we believe. We want to say we fear. We want to say we got faith. No, baby, you ain't got nothing. When y'all shut me down, when I told you when my son had hung himself, And I was sitting on the bed after he was in a coma for a month. I went into his room and I sat on the bed and I asked the Father to take me there. So he took me there, but he took me a little bit further than I was wanting to go, because he took me to the footprints. He said, now, many have approached you and you have held up firm. And they asking you how strong, how do you be this strong? And you said, you got faith, you got faith. And you trust in me and you got faith, you got faith. I want to let you know, Deborah, you ain't got nothing. See, we get caught up in us. Oh, I believe. Oh, I'm righteous. I'm spirit and truth. I got the light, baby. Wait a minute. Your mouth can say anything, but spirit and truth knows all things. So as you see this parable that Yeshua is speaking, but yet he's telling you how heaven had orchestrated things. But he's using the parable just to show you how heavens orchestrates things. Now in verse 3, they that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels, with their lamp. We are the vessel. You see? And Yah resides in us. So the foolish took their lamps, but no oil with them. And the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. What is the lamp? Anybody in the live chat? What is the lamp representing in this parable? Anybody in the live chat? What is the lamp? The lamps. Nope. Nope. Okay. We got 5 foolish. But I'm going to start off at the beginning. It says that chapter 25 of Matthew, verse 1. Then shall the kingdom of heavens be like unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps. All of them came with a lamp. And what is that? Five was wise and 5 was foolish. Okay. Verse 25, chapter 25, Matthew's chapter 25 and verse 1. Then shall the kingdom of heavens be like unto 10 virgins, which took their, you see the word their lamps. Verse 2, 5 was wise and 5 was foolish. Verse 3, they that were foolish took their lamps. But they that was wise took all. Wait a minute. But the wise took all in their vessel and their lamps. 5. Wait. Flesh and spirit. Right. That's it. Flesh and spirit. The foolish, they were lamps. They wasn't flesh, but they had spirit. So it's the spirit, not the flesh. They had lamps. See, the lamp represents the spirit. When he breathes the breath of life in us, we become a living spirit, a light. Okay? Now, if you had a lamp, what do lamp do? It gives you light. Let's go to John, the Gospel of John, chapter 1 and verse 4. What does it say about the light? The Gospel of John, chapter 1, verse 4. In him was life, and the life was to light the men. So people don't understand, that breath of life, he said, he's breathing in a light in you, which is your spirit. So you have 5 foolish that had their spirit, and then you have 5 wise, okay, and they had spirits. So you got 5 foolish spirits and you have 5 wise spirits. What's the difference between the two? One has oil in their vessel with their lamp. That's the oil. You see? They had oil in their vessel. And their vessel, we are the vessel where Yah resides. The oil. Okay, now watch this here. Now we got a wise, foolish, and we got the wise. Well, the foolish had their lamps, and the wise had their lamps, except for the wise, what happened? The wise took oil. That means when they left heaven, they had already oil in their vessel. You see, heaven's already orchestrated this thing, y'all. People thinking they running it. So this is where you're going to know who's who and what's what. In verse 5, while the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. All 10 slumbered and slept. So that means they did the same thing when it came down to slumbering and slept, right? They did the same thing. Now watch this here. And verse 6, and at midnight there was a cry made. That's the trumpet. And that's similar to Sister Deborah is blowing the trumpet. Okay. So in verse 6 it says, and at midnight there was a cry made. Behold, the bridegroom cometh. See, the trumpet blows first, and then the bridegroom. So Sister Deborah blows the trumpet by giving you all this information regarding spirit and truth and what? The light. Like unto the 5 wise that had oil in their lamp, that their light may be lit. You see? So watch this here. Same thing with Sister Deborah. She's giving you spirit and truth and light, that you may have light in the midst of all this chaos and this darkness. Listen to the wise. We into now. You notice the wise and the foolish, they all slept. Look at verse 5. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slept and slumbered. No, slumbered and slept. So all 10 slept and slumbered. At midnight, that's mean what did Sister Deborah be telling y'all? Y'all don't get it, I know. It's what Sister Deborah keep telling y'all. Y'all, it's midnight. Y'all, Look what time it is, y'all. You see her always using her wrist. Look what Yeshua said to them. And at midnight, there was a cry made. That's what I constantly keep telling y'all. We're running up on the last hour. We're running into the minutes. It's midnight. Okay? That's when one is coming to blow the trumpet of warning. He's coming. Okay? Now watch this here. Behold, the bridegroom cometh. Go ye out to meet him. Go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins rose and trimmed their lamps. What is trimming? All those virgins rose and trimmed their lamps. What was trimming? Preparing. They're preparing their lamps. Should not they already be ready? They should be already. So it's showing you how all 10 slumber and slept. And what else? Verse 7. Then those virgins rose up and trimmed their lamps, getting ready. Verse 8. Now, look like they sticking close together in what they're doing, but something's happening in 8. And the foolish said to the wise, give us of your oil. Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. Verse 9. But the wise answer, saying, not so, lest there be not enough for us and you, but go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves. And while, verse 10, and while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and that they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Verse 11. Afterward came also the other virgins, crying, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, verily I say unto you, I know you not. Why he saying that? Because one thing that the virgins had in common, one was wise and one was foolish. They didn't have that in common. But they both slumbered and slept. Okay? When it was time for the bridegroom to come, they went out to trim their lamp. They went out to trim their lamp. Their lamp is their spirit. Okay? So they went out all to trim. It didn't matter that all of y'all went out to trim. Only 5 had the oil. The example is really pretty much when you hear the other 5, they asked them to give them some of their oil, and they told them, no, we might not have enough. That is not what you call a good example of saying, okay, we got to get in, because when you are in Yah and he has the oil of righteous belief, faith, and fear already branded in you, it's not going to be a way that your flesh is making that choice. You see what I'm saying? To say, No, if I give you anything or anything, that I'm not going to be able to get in. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't one was wise and one was foolish that got them in. That's what I'm trying to show you. This is where you can see where one could even try to kind of mix up the words in a sense of smearing, because them being able to go in was because he what? They came from him as his vessel with oil. Those that could not come in, they wasn't of him. They came here not of him, even though he gave them also a spirit. This is one of the biggest things with me. I can't say it anymore. Kick that soul to the curb. This got to do with flesh and spirit. When you don't know the difference between those two, you can get lost in trying to understand the soul. You have to deal with the spirit because it is the light. Okay, so let me show you where it's at. What I'm talking about as far as in verse 12, Matthew chapter 24, 25. Matthew chapter 25 and verse 12. But he answered and said, verily I say unto you, I know you not. They were never the ones to return. Only those whose spirit was given the oil. And this is what they cannot preach to you all. They cannot teach it to you all. They cannot reveal these things to you all. Let me tell you why. It's because it'll knock their empire down. Because then you will be trusting in a true and living creator that's all power and not in them. Here is showing you that heavens had already orchestrated these versions. He already knew that we're going to have wise and we're going to have the foolish, like it is today. You thinking that he don't know who you are? It's kind of sad, but it's all good. You really believe he don't know who you are? You don't think he know nothing about you, the type of person you are, or anything? He knows your going and your coming, your ups and your downs. He assigned you here one day, and he's bringing you up. He's taking you out the day that he has assigned. So anybody that have the keys to life and death, I wouldn't try to challenge them as if they don't know nothing. And that's, I think it's kind of sad because no one really think like that. Now, with these virgins, the reason why he told them, he heard them say, open the door, but he said, open the door for what? I don't know you. Because you're not coming from me. This is another example of heaven's already got his in the Lamb Book of Life. This is telling you, and those that are not in the Lamb Book of Life or in other books, you are not going to be able to walk in like the wise walked in. It wasn't because they was wise, y'all. It wasn't because the other one was foolish. It really wasn't, because both of them, all of them slept and slumbered. And when the bridegroom came, what happened? They all got up and all of them trimmed their lamps. But it was the one that had the what? The oil. And where did they get the oil? They got it before they got down here. It was with them already. Look at verse 4. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. Where did they take this here from? This is who they were before they got down here. They had the brand already. And when Sister Deborah talked to y'all about the brand, when we tell you what this is supposed to set you to liberty. This is supposed to set you free. It's supposed to set you free to anything they telling you all to keep you captive to their belief and their traditions and their Torah and the way they want to teach Torah, the way they want to teach the word of God. You see, this will set you free. It'll set you free from this book right here. Because if you look at the 10 virgins, Everything matches except for one was foolish and one was wise. And the one that was wise, they wasn't wise because they had all. They was wise because they were labored already as the wise one. You see, they came down here not as the foolish, but as the wise one. Why? Because they had this here already in them, branded. That was their all in their vessel. Because everything else that took place, they were all 10 was alike, except for one had the all. You see what I'm saying? And that all alone separate who y'all knew. It wasn't their actions. It wasn't their ability to be better than nobody else or to be an excellent speaker or this and that and this and that. It was the oil that they had that the other one didn't. And this is the power that he gave me in it. And I told y'all he had me going in a roller coaster. He said, Deborah, you notice they couldn't give them the oil even if they could. Because at that moment, it was about going into the door because you were being called. He that had the oil in their lamp. And those that were not, they didn't make it in. And they went knocking and knocking, trying to get in. And he told them, I don't know you. For him to say, I don't know you, you are not a part of me. So it was the oil, like I'm telling you all, everyone at the sound of my voice, it's the oil that's in you that Yah is coming for. They slept, they slumbered. All of them got up and trimmed their lamps. To me, I would think they would have their lamps already trimmed. But this is trying to show you ain't nobody going to be ready for when I come. It's going to be what you got in your lamp, which is in your vessel, which is in your spirit, that Yah is coming for. If you think for 1 minute he's coming because you's a prophetess or you's a pastor, you's a bishop, you's an evangelist, you's a teacher, you teach Torah, you found all lost books and you put them together and you start to teach them, that's not what he's coming for. He's coming for the ones that has the oil, because the oil is of him. That's the deal with the 10 virgins. When you look in it in spirit and truth, you can see so many things taking place. And it make you see, well, okay, it says that the trumpet blew, and when the trumpet blew, they all heard it. They all slept and slumbered. All right. But when it was time, they all got up and they all trimmed their lamps. But it was the oil in those that had the oil. So Yah is coming for what is his and not for what you trying to teach people to prepare for his coming in the way they prepare their flesh. So this thing is a spiritual thing. And when you can really grip the whole idea that this thing don't have nothing to do with us thinking we can teach him how to accept us in his holiness or in his righteousness. No, heaven had already got you either sign in or got you sign out. Every parable you go into, you could clearly see that this is from heaven. Heaven's done this, not the earth. It ain't what you're learning down here. It is not what you're teaching down here. It's not Torah. It's not the commandments. It's not the lost books. It's not the found books. It's not Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. It's not David. It's not Solomon. It don't have nothing to do with none of that. And if you really had a good mind, you could have saw that in that parable. It had nothing to do with them and their actions. Go back. It's nothing they did. You had wise and you had foolish that came from heaven. One came down with oil. That's what it says. How did you get the oil? It says, let me see what it says here. It says, let me make sure that's exactly what it says. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamp. See, they came from heavens already with what? Oil in their vessels with their lamp. But the foolish didn't even have a vessel because they are not of the Most High Yah. You see? So I just wanted to show you that this is one of the topics he was dealing with me on, and he wanted me to go back in it. So, because I already knew that when that trumpet was blown, I'm like, we look like they would all be getting up running to go to meet you. No, they running to trim the lamps. You see? And trimming their lamps, you should have already been ready. It doesn't got anything to do with you getting ready in the flesh, you guys. It's how you are willing to walk in the spirit. Because all 10 went out to trim their lamps. So the wise and the foolish went out to trim their lamps. So you know that has no connection to when that door was open. Who got in? It was he that had the oil. That's just it. And the oil is righteous belief, faith, and fear branded in your spirit. That's the example. Being branded in your spirit by the Most High Yah before you get down here. And that's why he's able to tell the other ones that's knocking on the door, I don't know you. Why? Because you don't have the oil in which I gave unto the wise when they got down here. You see? And that's why somebody might say, but it's hard to know if you are in there or not, Deborah. No, it's not. No, it's not. When you learn to have a relationship, a personal, not as personal, a spiritual relationship with the Most High Yah, all this other nonsense don't mean nothing. None of it don't mean anything. It'll help you to walk in the liberty in which he has set you free. One more thing I wanted to cover before I get off here, and I'm just going to go over here. In Ezekiel 36, in Ezekiel 36, Ezekiel was saying something to the Most High Yah. And the Most High Yah stepped into him. And listen how Ezekiel chapter 36 and verse 16. This is just one of the biggest things that the Hebrew Israelite movement is never going to get because it's finished. They will never, you know what, you guys, they would never preach this to you all. They would never preach this to you all. Listen to this. Ezekiel chapter 36. Now, Ezekiel says something, and this is what the Father is coming back on him with. Verse 16. Moreover, the word of Yah came unto me, saying. What did he, in a sense, hey, bro, hey, Ezekiel, stand down. Let me tell you something you don't know. Stand down and listen. This is what. And Ezekiel is telling you, he said, moreover, the word of Yah came unto me, saying, Son of man, when the house of Israel dwell in their own land. Where? Their own land. Their what? Own land. Right then, he's checking Ezekiel in a way. He's letting him know the whole lowdown. Something Ezekiel must not have known, but he's checking him in a way. He's telling him, Son of man, when the house of Israel, that means Judah and Israel, dwelled in their own land. What land is this? Floating with milk and honey. Do you all know that that's the richest land that ever was on the face of the earth? Y'all didn't know that, did you? Yes, it was. He gave it unto the house of Israel and the tribe of Judah. And he's finna check Ezekiel. And he said, Son of man, verse 17, Ezekiel 36 and verse 17, Son of man, when the house of Israel dwell in their own land, they defiled it by their own way and by their own doing. So when you get to this land here and you try to convince people that somebody's bothering you, all you need to do, because I don't need to do it. It's drilled in my spirit. But I'm telling it to you. Always go back to what Yah is saying to Ezekiel. Or he said it to Jeremiah. He said it to Isaiah too. They don't want to hear that though. The people don't want to hear stuff like that. But listen to this. The father told Ezekiel, they were in their own land, Ezekiel, and they defiled it by their own way and by their doings. So when Sister Deborah is telling you what type of people your nation is that you come from, when you get to the point where you think, well, maybe Deborah just all the time bashing us and we talk about us, you sicker than sick. Because like they tell you this Bible really is written for them or it's about them. Yes, it is. It's sure this Bible have done an excellent job with revealing how ugly Israel and the tribe of Judah has always been since the beginning all the way to the end. You will not see any good coming out of Israel outside of Yeshua HaMashiach. You will not see any good coming out of Israel and the tribe of Judah outside of Yeshua HaMashiach, the Messiah. We needed a Savior. We really did. And this is why. This is why he was slaughtered before the foundation of the world. And he stepped into our time, in our forefathers' time to walk that wheel out of the Father. But we needed it. We needed a Savior to save us from our ugly selves. Even to today, he didn't die, risen, sitting on the right hand of the Father. And guess what? We are more uglier than we ever been, even after he have laid down and shed his blood, his life, just so we can see and walk and mimic him and how he do what? How he treated our Father. He was really teaching us how to get rid of our ugliness by showing us how we recognize our Father and all the things that he has done and will do and going to do. We missed it. But listen to what, look, I like this right here. This is where you know that Yah can come in and he can come out and you'll never know he's been there. You'll never know he's been here. He did that with Jacob. Jacob told his sons, gather yourself together, sons, so I can tell you what is befall you, what should befall you in the last days. Did you know they wouldn't come? They wouldn't come. But all of a sudden you hear something say, sons of Jacob, gather yourself together and hear with your father Isaiah. Now, what did he say? Isaiah, Israel. What is it? Isaiah. Hear your father Jacob. Or did he say Jacob or Isaiah? He said one of them. But you can tell that that was a separate being. That's Yah. When he can step into this book and he can step out. He can step into the speech and step out. Because right here, all you have to do is go to Ezekiel 36. Moreover, the word of Yah came unto me, saying. And now Ezekiel telling you how he said it, okay? Son of man, when the house of Israel dwell in their own land, they defile it by their own way and by their doings. Ezekiel couldn't tell you that. He wasn't there. He couldn't have told you that. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. The Roman Catholics is the right hand of Satan, but they cannot override what Yah has to say. if he wants to say something. That's what I love about him. He can write a letter in this here book, and you would never know it's him until the Ruach shows you where he's speaking. Now listen to what he said. This is what they did. They defiled it by their own way and by their doings. Their way was before me as a uncleanness of a removed woman. Okay. Verse 18. Wherefore I poured my fury upon them for the blood they had shed upon the land. You see that? Not only did they defile, oh man, he's saying here in verse 18, wherefore I poured my fury upon them for the blood that they had shed upon the land. Killing each other, y'all. In the promised land, flowing with milk and honey. Watch this here. That means had everything, wealthy and everything. They had everything, y'all. But they up in there killing. So if you sit here and Sister Deborah tell you we down here killing, don't sit here and tell Sister Deborah. And you always say we kill. But wait a minute. The Father approached Ezekiel to stand him down to tell him what type of ugly people you all were. He had to reveal that to Ezekiel. Because Ezekiel most likely didn't think y'all would, the people were like that. But yes, the Father had to bring that in. Okay, now watch this here. They shed in verse 18 for the blood that they had shed upon the land and for their idols wherewith they have polluted it. So just this is what they did to the land floating with milk and honey, the promised land that he had given them. So here you all on this land. Are you doing the same thing here as you did there? Yes, the Father said worse. It's worse. And this is why I know that they gone, because they don't want you saying nothing. They don't want you saying nothing about. So what? They killing. So what? The hate is. So what? He come to get us anyway. Really? You really think he come to get you? Okay. Now listen to what he said. This is where you wonder why you hear in the United Snakes in a way that how did he divide everybody? This is how he divided us. And I scattered them among the heathens. He scattered you among the heathens. He didn't say among the Gentiles. You see what I'm saying, y'all? A lot of y'all don't know that. He scattered them among the heathens, the no good ones. But listen to what he said right here. And they were dispersed through the countries according to their way and according to their doings, I judge them. According to their way and according to their doings, I judge them. Verse 20, and when they enter into the heathens. Now here we come, y'all. Here we come. We come up, and now we entering in the face of the heathens. And when they enter into the heathens, whether they went, they profaned my holy name. When they said to them, these are the people of Yah, and are gone forth out of his land. The heathens knew who you were then, y'all. Why are you all lying today? Because you lied yesterday. You are a liar. Satan is a liar. So we know now that you are the children of Satan, calling yourself the children of the Most High Yah. You are a liar. Now listen to this. Verse 19. Ezekiel 36 and verse 19. And I scattered them among the heathens. So when you're wondering why you over here, he set you among the heathens. He didn't set you among the Gentiles. You see, y'all don't get it, do you? He set you among the heathens because the heathens matches you. They are just like you are. That's why you over here. That's why. Listen to what he says. And they were dispersed throughout the countries according to their way and according to their doings, I judge them. Now watch this here. And when they enter into the heathens, Ezekiel, when they came unto the heathens, whether they went, they profaned my name, Ezekiel. When they said to them, these are the people of Yah, and are gone forth out of his country. What did they tell them? We ain't his people. The heathen was telling them that they was the children of Yah. And the Dorn Israelite in Judah profaned his name right in the face of the heathens. So they're lying to you all. Ain't nobody took your books. Ain't nobody stopped you from doing anything. The Most High saw you denying it. Because this is what happened, y'all. I had some issues a couple of years ago. I said something that just don't make no sense, Father. You know, I got an issue with that. It's something just don't make no sense. If we came over in these ships the way that they say we were lying down, stacked on each other, why wasn't we coming and praying? We knew, if we didn't know nothing, we know you. You fought many a battles for us for years. The land in which we were given, you won that and prepared it for us. What happened when we got on those ships and were put in there like animals, not human? Why couldn't we call on you? Why couldn't we open our mouth and pray and sing songs and just all of these things? Why couldn't it? When we got off for that, if we get out and we don't have no clothes, our integrity is gone. We are just sitting up on a place, being sold. Why is it we couldn't just remember you, Father? Why is it? He said they did, Deborah. See, that's why I tell y'all, they just lying to you all. And they've been doing it, and it's the Hebrew Israelites. They just lying to y'all. Listen to what he said. He said, Deborah, Ezekiel 36 and verse 20. When I took them, when they were not took them, but when he made way that the heathens get them, and he said, and when they enter in verse 20, Ezekiel chapter 36 and verse 20, and when they enter into the heathens, now here they go, getting off the ship. Whether they went, they profane my name. We profane the Most High Yah name in the face of the heathens. And now we stand here and say they took our books from us, and they didn't want us to read, and we didn't know that we had a whole bunch of things, y'all. We were loaded with treasures because he had dealt with us and gave us the promised land. And what did he say? And when they enter into the heathens, that means when they got in the face of the heathens like they do today, just like they do today, he said, whether they went and profaned my holy name, Deborah, they profaned it in the face of the heathen. And then get over here today and talk about when they took us, they took our religion, what we believe in, and they took this. Look, you had more than enough before you got over here. Your forefathers never held on to nothing that they had. That's what it's so confusing about those ships, y'all, to me. And it still is. Why on the ship they couldn't call on your mighty name? All those wars and battles you fought for them. But they had sense enough to get in the face of the heathens and profane your name, Father. In a sense, curse his name. And the heathens wouldn't tell him now, but you are the children of the Most High Yah. They telling them, why are you profaning his name? You all are the children of the Most High Yah. Now, you don't get it, do you? Listen to what they said. You all are the children of the Most High Yah. And what we do, we stood in front of their face and we profaned the Most High Yah's name in their faces. Therefore, no. Let me show you how bad it got. Verse 21. But I had pity on my holy name. He had to have pity on his own name. Because the Hebrew Israelite and the tribe of Judah profaned his name in the face of the heathens. When the heathens knew who they were. Negroes today, the Hebrew Israelite movement is messed up. They still trying to make and convince people that they are the people. They gone, y'all. The people already knew who you were. You gone. You gone. You still chasing it in this midnight hour. But you ain't done nothing to prove that you are in your way you act, the way you conduct yourself, the way you unite, the way you care for one another and take care of each other, the way you obey Yah's commandments, the way you follow his prophecies. None of that. None shows anything. None of that shows, y'all. But they want you, but I got to erase this here thing, this on here. But they want you to pretend that everybody is better than us. And then the Father said, we are worse than our forefathers. So is that telling you something about really what's going on with us? This is the reason why he made sure he took only a small remnant. And that is those who also holds the oil to the lamp. Okay, so you can go on and you can make him whatever you want to make him in your heart. But the truth be told, he got your number. He had it before the foundation of the world. Anyone in the live chat has any questions? And I hope that you got something out of it. You said Revelation 3 and 10. Let's see what that says. Now it says in Revelation chapter 3 and verse 10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. The word of whose? Yah's patience. I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world, to try them that dwell upon the earth. To try them. And you know what that's that woo, you talking about some chaos gonna be that temptation he talking about. That's gonna be some stuff. That's gonna be some heavy stuff that's gonna take place. And it ain't gonna be no they gonna be able to call on him or woo this. No, they gonna see something. Now here it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. The word of my patience. And he's telling it to the individual who have kept something. It's the word that proceed out of his mouth. But he said, you kept it of my patience. You know that you hear him. You know that he's living in you. You know that he's dealing with you, and you patience in his word that he speaks to you. He talks to you at nighttime. He talks to you in the morning. He talks to you when you're at your workplace, when you're walking, when you're driving, and you still just have patience toward his word. That's beautiful, because that's what it takes. Because honestly, that to me fits me. Because the things I told you, I'm surprised I would be in a straitjacket in a mental hospital. But I have that patience because of his word. Because of his word. I have that patience that's patiently waiting for every word he said that's going to take place. I've already seen it in the spirit realm, and here I am in the flesh. But what happens? The patience in the spirit realm of his word, knowing that it's going to be revealed in due season. Okay. Anyone have any? Okay, when that was verse, the patience, that was a good one too. I like that because you know what? That's something I need to read over and over because that is the Revelation chapter 10. I like that because it reminds me of myself. My spirit being, having that patience for his word to take its course. You know how he's sitting here showing me everything and revealing things, but I'm sitting here like, oh, these are going to happen. You know, this is going to happen. But I'm having the patience to know that he's going to see his word, every word he said, see it through. I'm patiently waiting. Okay. Okay. And you said, now, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say that they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before my feet, before thy feet, and to know that I love thee. Now, he's speaking of here, those who said that they are Jews, that's those over in Israel. They proclaim that they are the true Jews, and they're not. And simply, they are the people, Europeans. Okay. They are Europeans. I would call them heathens. I would call them heathens because they're pretending to be the true Jews, knowing that they're not. And that's why he called them out. Now, honestly, this is a verse that you won't have. You can probably go in that one verse and still see what maybe Satan tried to smear it. But it says, behold, behold mean look, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews. You see, they say they are Jews. He knows already they're not. They're the synagogues of Satan. And Satan knows who's the true Jews. But this is the sad part is about it, is they taking a position because they are already bound to the lake of fire. You see what I'm saying? So they just role playing for Satan. You see, they are already in the lake. Matter of fact, they're gonna be in the lake of fire before Satan. You see, they already know that they are in the role, and you should see what they're doing today. They're waiting for other things to be fulfilled as if they are the true Jews, and they're trying to make it as if these things is happening over there in Jerusalem as the biblical, and none of it is matching. None of that. You see, so these are those who sit and they which say that they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, look, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Now, notice he said he's going to cause them to come to worship before thy feet. That there is something you have to really be very careful in it alone, because they're saying that they're Jews. I believe that the Jews are Europeans from Europe. They were placed there by the Roman Catholics to take the position of the true Jews. So they're there, and that's how they got the whole world to make them wealthy, is to make them tell the world that they are the true Jews and to pretend that they are people of the Most High, the children of the Most High, because they already knew that he had already released them from that promised land. So they goes over there and they invade and they take. But see, this was another power that was doing that. That's why it's the synagogue of Satan, because it was the Roman Catholic, which is the right hand of Satan. See, he turned it over to them to set it up and to plan it, like that Holocaust, all that stuff. They did all that just in the name of taking that position that we once set in, because we were the Jews. That's powerful. So just imagine, had not we did what we're doing over here, had we did it over in our promised land, just imagine if we had not done that. Where would we be? You see, but here he said he's going to make them come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. I have given and gave thee this position as a Jew. Okay, but don't think that he's talking about us as a whole, the house of Israel and tribe of Judah. Okay, he's talking about those he's going to bring over to the promised land, that small remnant. Okay, and when they see that we are over here now, those that's going to be worshiping at our feet, you would think we wouldn't even want to be around them after they took our position all this time. You would think, wouldn't you? So why would you want them to worship you, or worship? What did he say? I will make them to come and worship before thy feet. I think he's saying something else, and that is more so like a parable of how they're going to see you once you are in the promised land, and they're going to want to serve you. And I believe it's going to be still yet Europeans, okay, who want to participate. You see, but it's saying it in here as if those fake Jews is going to be doing that. You see, the synagogue of Satan. Who wants the synagogue of Satan come worshiping us at our feet, before our feet? The synagogue of Satan. After they just taken our identity, you know. So something else is going on here. You have to be able to look at it and see exactly. And it tells you to go to Isaiah 49 and 23. But it's something else going on in that verse. It's something else going on. I can understand, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, because that's also in chapter 2 and verse, I think, verse, what is it? That's in chapter 2 as well, and 2 and the synagogue of Satan. Well, it's in chapter 2 as well. He's saying the same thing. They are the synagogue of Satan. And then he says it again in 3. So that leads me to understand that they are in full understanding that they are the synagogue of Satan. All their actions. That's who got all these rappers and all these Oprahs and Tyler Perry and Beyonce sold out to Satan. These are the ones, y'all. This is them. Okay. The synagogue of Satan is up under the Roman Catholic power, because no, the Roman Catholic is the right hand of Satan. They doing things underground, and they ruling things, so you don't know who's who. That's why I don't know if it's the false prophet or the false prophet and the Antichrist. They're coming out of the Roman Pope, but I believe that beast is Bomber. I do. And if he ain't, he got to be some connection. He got to be, but he is not a Israelite nor a tribe of Judah. No, he's not even your nation. He's from the Arabs and Africa. He's not what everybody think he is. But yeah. But yep. They holding on to that, and it's just as plain as. And they said they already know. They know who the truth. But this is the problem that bothers me. Is, say for instance, we are the true Jews, which we are. What does that say about us right now, the way we are conducting ourselves? You know what I'm saying? What does that say about us? the way you see us as a people and how we are actually conducting ourselves. What does that say? Is that coming from Revelation? Is it Revelation chapter 11, verse 11? And after 3 days and a half, the spirits of life come, the life come, from Yah enter into them, and they stood up upon their feet. A great fear fell upon them which saw them. Are you talking about the two prophets? Mhm. The two prophets that came, and that's not even in the United States. That's going to be somewhere else, but it's not going to be in the United States. These prophets going to be somewhere else, but the whole world going to be fearful of them. And let me tell y'all, don't think they ain't looking for them. Yeah, they even already they got a movie out where two men comes. It's supposed to be, it's something about they coming from somewhere and they coming to make a difference in the world, and they're gonna have the same ways of Revelation 11, speaking of the the prophets that Yah sent. But these guys is going to be very powerful. But I want you to also know, when you see that the current time 11:11, the current time 11:11. I'm thinking you're talking about Revelation 11:11. The current time 11:11. What's going on with the 11? The 11. Let us know, so we would know. Yeah, but it's no one that has been called this outside of us, and the world calls us animals. You see, but if you really look at how the instructions and direction book speak of us, total different than what the heathens and Gentiles, they think we're animals, half human or whatever. You see, so it looks almost like, when you say current time 11:11, it looks like we're never going to own that thing, you know, uh the wicked and the evil and the ugliness of us, the stiff-necked, the rebellion, the disobedient. Do you know we don't even see that? And then he said we were worse than our forefathers. Why is it we don't see it? Because we're too far gone. We'll think we the best, and we the angels, we the good ones, we the this and we the this. That's why, was not there 10 virgins? There were 10. 5 that was of Yah, and 5 that was not. 5 that had the brand, 5 did not. Oh yes, it's no doubt. But he said that, and it's in there. I think it's in there 4 times. In the end days, they're gonna be worse than the forefathers. Said the earth is all off course, out of order. Okay, I got a few calls coming in. Did you ever say the current time is 11:11? Was that the time? Okay, you trying to tell me it's late? Okay, it's time here. It's 10. I just realized it's 18. But thank you. I think that's what you probably was telling me. Yep, that's what it says. It said it. And to me, that's scary, to just know that we are worse. So I, Sister Deborah, say I appreciate each and every last one of you all tuning in. And I say thank you all so much. Have a wonderful night and sleep well. Do you all sleep well? I hope so, because Sister Deborah do. So I see you next time. Shalom.